Welcome back to the broadcast. We are discussing, analyzing, dissecting Maasai land politics. In your analysis, do you think that the two Maasai counties of Kajiado and Narok can be or should be classified as battleground counties? Tell us what you think. Tweet us at Ben_Kitili at KTN News. The hashtag is Choice2017. Let's pick up from where we left. And before we talk about a visit of some Maasai elders or leaders to State House Nairobi, let's talk about 2013. A lot of analysts have said that Raila Odinga lost the elections, presidential election, because of his championing for the Mau Forest Complex. What is your take on that?
I think, first of all, Ben, I have to say that anything to do with land is highly emotive. And I think when it comes to any period of the election, it is sad that this is when these things come up. Right now, even in Narok, we have a huge problem on a boundary of Moitanik, between the Moitanik and the Kipsigis. That is the same problem we have in the Mau Forest. Right. Timama, the late William Olen Timama, was championing the rights of the Masai to own the Mau Forest. We had a big problem. He was supported heavily by Raila Amolo Odinga. But you see, the biggest problem we have in Narok now is that we have two main communities. I think we've got the Masai, and now we've got the Kipsigis. The problem is that the current government, in fact the Jubilee, even the former government, they were scared of coming out and clearly identifying that this is the boundary, you know, because that land belonged to the Masai. They did welcome the Kipsigis. They came in, and because, you know, Masais are very welcoming people. But the problem is, when you come in, and we establish a small problem, instead of us realizing that you are my neighbor and I'm your neighbor, okay, we make it a community affair. We should first of all talk about it, me and you. You are on the other side and I'm on this side. We're fighting on the boundary. So Raila was fought because he said the boundary has got to go back to Olentutu's boundary. Because the late senior chief Olentutu is the one who welcomed the Kipsigis. And he gave them land.
All right.
So he clearly marked a boundary, say, you can reach here.
All right. Mheshimiwa Sakuda,
yes,
the issue of land,
yes,
very big election issue for the Maasai,
absolutely,
has always been. What's the solution?
My take is, let me first of all say, I am the vice chair in the Parliamentary Committee on Land in Parliament. And you can take my word. If there is a government that have stood for Maasai rights on land, it's Jubilee. And I'm saying that because if you look at 2 weeks ago, what happened? The Purko, who extends from Mosiro all the way to Narok, the Purko clan, in my constituency, a place called Mosiro, since 1986, land was taken away from the 150,000 acres, was taken and given to other people under the leadership of our committee and under the leadership of NLC and the Ministry of Lands. That land has gone back to the people. Go to Shompole, a place where there was a Muzungu who was disturbing Masais in terms of wanting to take over 70,000 acres. There is an illusion and a lie that says Raila fights for the Masai lands in terms of rights. For 5 years, Honorable Orengo was the Minister of Lands in the Kibaki
Grand Coalition government.
Grand Coalition government.
Right.
For those 5 years, why did he not sort the Kidong issue? Why did he not? Ledama and myself.
Wait. Actually, let me just stop you right there. The Honorable Sakuda, my dear friend, said that Raila did not do anything. I personally took Orengo, and we flew to the Mara when there was a very big issue. He took the initiative. We go back into the issue of Kidong. If the Jubilee government really cared about the future of the Masai, the first thing they should have done is to resolve the Kidong ranch issue, which is about 75,000 acres of land. About a month ago, Senator Wamatangi...
All right. Ben, let me say something.
Yes.
Ben, did the Kidong problem start when the Jubilee government took power?
No,
3 years ago?
But we've been having a case. We've been having a case in court.
That has been there. Regimes.
We've been having
since the Wazungus were there.
Hold on. We've been having a case in court for the last 7 years. Okay? And like he rightfully said, we met and we met with the Kidong people,
Yes.
and I took over the initiative. We went and we started over the process of doing that.
And who have been funding the case?
Recently, we funded it. I funded it,
You-
and you
right,
also funded it.
moving forward.
Let me be
Recently,
clear.
how
He
do you
funded
think-
and
how
I
do you
did.
think Jubilee
Recently,
has-
let me
yes,
tell you,
all right.
recently, a member of parliament from Narok East, who is on a Jubilee ticket, went and filed a case, and what he really intended and what he really wanted was for the matter to be settled out of court, to say that Masai's, the land doesn't belong to the Masai. Okay? But we caught him red-handed, and we decided to continue fighting for that. So the Masais really do not see as if this Jubilee administration will ever resolve their problems. They have
Now,
not
can I
dealt.
give him a
They
way
have
forward?
not dealt with the
Because-
TGRC report.
Can I give him
So
a
we
way
can't
forward
argue
because
that.
he's outside Jubilee?
The final
You know
thoughts
what
on
we
that.
have done?
Yes.
You know what we have done under the Jubilee administration? We went as a parliamentary committee on land to Kidong and to a place called Oderi Warari, whereby our people, are being disturbed because they've been living there.
All right.
And what we have come up is we have come up with a report, comprehensive report, that says let the government compensate those who bought those lands and let the Masais continue to do that. Today.
Ben,
All right.
The county commissioner of
let me
Nakuru,
just-
listen, Ledama, you're outside government. You don't know a lot of things that are happening.
we-
I want to
we
inform
know
you.
what happens.
I want to inform you.
We know what happens.
Today, the county commissioner of Nakuru, county commissioner of Kajiado, Mheshimiwa Ngasheri, and myself, and the treasury, we met in a way that we can factor in the budget
All right.
for
Okay.
this financial year,
Thank you.
so that those Masais can be
Thank you for that.
settled there, and they will never be.
Please,
disturbed.
let me just respond
Your
on
final
that.
thought,
You know,
respond to
it
that.
saddens me
Yes.
that any time when we have an election, okay, the first thing we do is we say we really want to get these votes. So what we want to do is let's go to Treasury, let's give them compensation. It's not about compensation, it's about the land. It saddens me that right now, as we sit here, there are about 3,000 people from Kiambu who owns land in the Kidong Ranch. Why do they have the title deeds? Why is it that the Masais who've lived there for ages do not have those title deeds?
So what's the
what
way
even
forward?
happened
What's the
with adverse
permanent
possession? The problem, it's very simple. If this government really cares about the Masai,
And
and that
it
is why I'm
cares.
telling you
It cares.
that if this government cared about the Masai,
All right.
the first thing they should have done is implement the TGRC report. Number two, the second thing they should have done is that ensured the Masais have title deeds. But don't go give title deeds without consulting the Land Commission, and then tomorrow those title deeds are revoked. You can't come
Fair
in.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Very, very wide topic, gentlemen. You have to agree. We would need more time to talk. Let's talk about Kajiado County. There seems to be an uprising against Jubilee. I mean, Jubilee has been trying to appease or make people of Kajiado happy. We saw the appointment of Joseph Kaiseri. But you lost that seat. Not lost, but you lost that
retained.
seat.
ODM retained.
Yes.
No,
It's not losing.
It was supposed to
We
be
never lost.
an
Actually,
incentive.
if you know,
They spent
we narrowed the
spent
gap.
millions and millions.
We narrowed the gap. I mean, it was just a matter of about 500 votes. The way Kajiado is right now is the way Kajiado was in 2013. When we went to Mosiro, what did we do? They retained the seat, ODM, these NASA guys. But we narrowed the gap. Instead of 160 votes, it was by 32 votes. So who is gaining ground? Is it ODM or
This
Jubilee?
weekend, a group of elders, Maasai elders,
Yes.
came out to say that they are now behind the governor of Kajiado,
Olengedienye.
Olengedienye.
Yes.
They are. It's like
Yes.
an uprising against
Yes.
Kaiseri.
Yes, and those are,
you say
I
that?
looked at all of them. They are from Kaputi. They are people who have been supporting Gedienye.
no.
They are not Jubilee. And I wanted to ask you a question. Out of all the elected leaders right now that you have just shown us a very good screen here, is there any one of them who have decamped to ODM?
Yes.
Who?
Yes.
Tell me who.
Moitalelo Lekenta in
That is
Narok
narrow.
Gate.
We're
Wait,
talking
about
about
Kajiado.
Kajiado.
About Kajiado. Let me
We
just
were
say one
talking
thing.
about
Yeah?
Kajiado.
Let me just say one thing.
In Kajiado.
It saddens me that to see my dear friend here, Moses, say that the elders who went to
Absolutely.
back,
Seuri. Dora
okay,
Kaputi.
okay, who went to back Ngedienye
Yes,
are what?
same.
From one clan.
All right.
This is an issue we've had. Clanism, divide and rule.
All right.
I can tell you this. If today, and I'm sure you've got footage, the beauty of being in a media house is that you can go back. When you see Moses standing there talking to the Masai, and you see Ngedienye standing there, you will see who the people love. Okay? The Masais have got an affinity with the people who
with
fight
the person,
for their land.
Not the party.
Okay, with the people who
It's with
fight
the
for their
person.
Let me ask
for
you
their
what
rights.
we're asking our viewers. Let me start with Mheshimiwa Sakuda. Should the two counties, Kajiado and Narok, be
Yes.
classified as battleground, as swing, like can go either way?
No. In my view, they are purely Jubilee. And we are catching up with the 9,000 votes that Raila won in Narok. Just the way we caught up in Mosiro, just the way we caught up in Kajiado Central, we're catching up.
You know, there's one. There's
now
one.
we are overtaking.
There's-
We showed them the signal light.
In 2013,
Raila Odinga-
Raila Odinga had 50% of the vote in Narok.
Yes.
Uhuru Kenyatta had 46.
Yes.
In Kajiado, Uhuru won with 52%.
52. And Raila had 44.
That's not a very big
Can
margin,
I tell you
is
the
it?
truth?
Yes.
You know, Kajiado is a different case. Kajiado is closer to the city. It's more cosmopolitan. When you look at where the biggest population is the people who are there. And I'm not being tribal here, but they're actually from the Jubilee side. Okay? So that's explained why Uhuru Kenyatta got more votes, because he got them from Gong. He got them from Kitengela. Now, things are changing. And I can tell you, there's no point of us sitting here, my dear brother, and talking about psychophanting. The thing is, the Masais have completely shifted to NASA.
No.
In fact, specifically,
I totally disagree.
ODM.
No way.
Okay? And even talking about Atinarok being classified as a swing
Now,
state.
because you have shifted, you think everybody
no,
has
listen.
shifted.
So is it?
No, nothing. That is actually
not swing.
ludicrous.
Belongs
Completely
to
ludicrous. Masai vote belong to the opposition.
No way.
They are pissed off. You cannot be milking us and not
Do
give
you
us
know,
anything
actually,
back.
I want to make a point of correction. When his brother was running, was interviewed for the electoral chairperson of IBC.
And he did very well.
And he did very well.
He won.
Who was the first to cast a shot at him? It was ODM. They said
No,
Jubilee.
no.
Jubilee. It's still on media. So
No.
you just said about it.
No,
that Jubilee
absolutely
is
false.
fronting Olekena.
Absolutely
Olekena
false. Absolutely
for a vote
false.
for the IBC chair.
Absolutely
He's
false.
part.
I didn't want to
So
talk
how
about
can he
that, but I've
claim-
got to respond to that.
How can he claim?
Absolutely
When
false.
DPP Tobiko,
In fact, listen.
When
in fact,
DPP Tobiko,
Ngaiseri was asked. He was asked in John King's funeral, okay, why didn't you stand and fight for your son? He said, even the other one is a Kenyan. That day, the Masai said, you know this guy? He will never see any leadership because he deviated. He decided, when you see the Luyas, if there is one person who has been appointed as, they all come and rally behind him.
All right.
Okay? It is said that this issue of psychophanting is what makes people sort of like betray their own ethnic groups. And I'm not talking about ethnicity here, but it's sad that merit is not rewarded. So you look at who has the numbers.
Has Ole Sakuda betrayed his people?
Ole Sakuda? I don't know. I don't think I would say that he has been. I don't think. I
That
would say,
means- that
let me
means
put it
no.
this way.
All right.
If you ask me specifically, has he betrayed his people? I would say to some extent, yes, to some extent, no. To what extent am I saying this? Ole Sakuda sits here. He clearly said he sits in the committee that deals with the issue of land.
yes.
Every single day, we should have been seeing Ole Sakuda actually, walking
you've
the
not
talk,
been following the-
ensuring it that the Kidong matter has been resolved.
All right.
The Syria Maasai land has been given back to them. The TGRC report has been implemented.
Let's let him
So has
respond
he
to that.
failed? Yes, he has.
I don't think I've failed. In all honesty, the good thing with Ladama, he sits outside. He doesn't know what's happening.
Trust me, we've got our ear inside.
because he does not know what we have been doing. For me, I can stand today and tomorrow and say that for the 3.5 years that I've been a member of parliament, I have delivered the mandate that I was given by the people of Kajiado.
All right. Final
I've
thing.
just talked about land
Yes.
right now, the historical injustice that I found of land in Kajiado West constituencies. I sat there and brought the petitions on behalf of the people. That is a representation.
All right. Final question,
So
gentlemen.
in terms of Ledama here trying to claim
All right. Final thoughts. Going 6 months, barely 6 months to the elections.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the things that the people of Maasai land care about that will be determining who wins what or who takes the day in Maasai land? What are the issues of the election?
I started by telling you,
Yes.
from the word go, politics is local. What you will see in Masai land is that as much as people advocate for NASA, for Jubilee, they will look at the person. That's number one. there are a lot of internal dynamics that are happening. Clanism, you know, that people are saying we want our son, we want our kingpin and all that. But in terms of delivery, Jubilee has the mandate in the next 6 months to continue fulfilling the mandate that they promised to Kenyans.
All right, thank
and
you.
then ODM,
let me respond to your
and
question.
ODM will have an opportunity to try and snatch that seat from us and take it to the. And I want to be on record. To me, and my view is, Uhuru Kenyatta holds Masai closer to the heart than Raila Amolo.
Responding to your question,
yes.
The Masais are going to be looking at this. Yes. Have they been lied to? Have they been given the million jobs? Okay. Have their schools been given electricity?
Yes.
Have their roads been fixed?
Yes.
Okay. It is completely ludicrous to say that the Jubilee administration, the government, has done anything to, and I'm glad you agree, has done anything to help the Maasai community.
They have.
Yesterday, I laughed off. I was driving from Narok back to Nairobi, and I came across like 8 trucks, tippers, which have been bought by the county. Why wait until now?
All right.
You know?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
My final word.
We have to end it.
My final
30
word
seconds only.
is 2 Kings 6 verse 16.
And my final one is Galatians 6 verse 7.
Says,
you reap what you sow.
It says the prophet Elijah, when he saw, there was his servant, when he saw this multitude of people coming, Elijah told him, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Those who are with us
you will reap
are more than those who are with them. So we are not afraid.
The Lord cannot be mocked.
Those who are with us
you can
are more than those who are with them.
So ODM wins, NASA wins in Masai land.
Jubilee will win Masai land.
Aspirant for Narok County, that is Ledama Olekina, Member of Parliament for Kajiado West, Moses Ole Sakure, talking about Masai land politics. Be sure to join us every Monday night from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. as we talk about key issues of the election in the run-up to the 2017 general election. Many thanks for joining us. I'm Ben Kitili. Up next is Yvonne Okwara Matole with Monday Night News. Go to farm.